Today we're unboxing and setting up a sim cockpit from a company called Next Level Racing. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So this is the GT Lite, and it's a GT foldable cockpit. When it's completely assembled, this is what it looks like, and the advantage of this is if you need to pack it away, you can just fold it up and it goes down to a small size like that. There are a couple of things worth mentioning about the product. It's designed for entry and mid-level racers. It's space efficient, so if you're limited in space, you can just fold it away and store it. For a full-size frame, it's pretty affordable. So price-wise, in Europe, it retails for €229. North America, $229. In Asia, it's $399, and in the UK, it's £199. The gear shift mount is included on here, as you can see in the picture there. You can hard mount all the components on there, so the fact you can see the pedals, wheel, and the shifter, there's screw positions for them, so you can screw them, and the screws are included with this. It's inclined and flat angle position to fit the sim racer's preference. So let's take a brief look around the packaging. It comes in quite a large box here, gives the different positions shown on here. So you can see, obviously it's opened up there, and you've got the inclined position on the pedals. And then looking over here, you've got the flat angle position there. And finally, it folded up and in position there. Come around the side, some more details regarding the product and some pictures, together with it's highlighting it's strong and durable and adjustable as well. The back and the other side show the same detail. So let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. Okay, so I've laid out all the items you get in the packaging, so let me quickly go through them one by one. And just to note, it's worth putting something down on your floor to protect it in case you cause any damage. Obviously, putting this together can easily knock into things. You get an instruction manual, and I liked how they've highlighted all the bits you're supposed to work on and make adjustments to, very clearly laid out. And now if I go forward, you can see most of the writing with the pictures is in English. And going further along, you've got multi-language in there as well. You've got a shifter mount and holes to attach the device to the mount. You get a bag full of fixtures, so a number of screws in there and some tools to allow you to put this all together. You get a card saying, welcome to the Next Level Racing team, share your new gear using hashtag Next Level Racing. It's got their social media contacts at the bottom. And you get a lanyard as well with their branding on there. You get the end component for the pedals, so your pedals get attached onto this, and then the rest of it is all here, the seat and the point where you'd put your wheel. Now the build of all of this is very strong metal, and let's make a start at setting this up now. Okay, so first of all, I've cut away the cable ties that were attached to this and move the foot pedal part off, and let's start taking this off. So that's the area where your wheel will go. This is the seat, so we can open that up. You've got the bottom part of the stand as well here. So now this is the seat itself, and we just need to take the rubber protective covers off all the 4 bits. And now the ends here, they're slightly larger, so they sit into place there. Now it's sitting into position. There's a hole just over here. We put one of the bolts through there, and then we take one of the washers, put that on, and put a bolt on it. We can tighten it up further by using the tools they provide. So I can hold the bolt here and use the screw attachment there just to tighten it up. And there you go, that's nice and firm. So let me do the same on the other side. Same thing on this side, put the screw through, put a washer on, then put the nut on there, and we just tighten that up. And there you go, firmly done on both sides now. Next thing, coming at the back of the seat, if I zoom in there, there's a locking point on each side. Just need to lock it in position. There you go, that's done. And the same thing on the other side, just lock that into position. And next thing we want to do is take off the caps at either end. Then we can make sure it's still locked in. We can put the rear legs onto the seat. And similar thing again, it just slots into the points there. So just to highlight, as you're pushing this in, there's 3 different positionings on this, so you can adjust to your height preference. So if I now place it in, obviously marry it up to the hole you have over here, and then just put in the screw washer on the other side and the nut and tighten up. So there you go, both ends are secure now. Next, let's get the wheel stand on. So there's 2 locking points either side here. You can actually turn them and get this locked into position. So if I loosen them up, just want to lift this up. There you go. One more. Same on this side. And then that can just sit into position over here. Just here and here. So there's a hole on here and the screw already in place here. We'll take that out. That can be placed in there. And then there's a locking point here. Open that up and that sits in here. You can just lock it in. So let's get the locking screw back in here. And there you go, that's locked into position. The strap over here now needs to be tightened in position. So there's a hook here, place it through there. And you can see there's another point there and we feed it into that location. And that just needs to be tightened up. And there you go, Velcroed on and tightly in position. Next to do the bit where the pedals go on, and if I come in close, you can see there's some clamping points on there. So we just need to remove the 2 screws and then lock it into position and then put the screws back on. And just to note, once that comes apart, there's a nut that goes underneath that. So make sure you don't lose that when you're putting it back into position. There we have it, it's locked into position now. Next, let's install the shifter mount. So you've got 2 locations either side of the seat. We'll go for this side. So similar thing again, you just take the bolt out and the screw comes out and then the mount just sits into place. And remember, you've got to line up the holes that come down there. So you go get the screw through there and put the nut back on the other side. To tighten up the locking points either side. So obviously make the adjustments you want according to what's comfortable for you. But obviously make sure you're not sitting in position as you're doing it because it is liable to collapse down and they don't recommend doing it while you're sitting in there. So the way it is, it's locked into position like this, and to adjust it, you loosen it, twist it, and then you can make your required adjustments like so. And once it's in position, tighten it up slightly and then just lock it, ensuring all these bits are tightly in position. Now be careful when you're doing this. If you're holding it like that, it is liable to pinch your fingers. So keep your hands well clear of this. So do this on both sides. Next thing to adjust is the wheel stand here. So you can see the adjustment point on here. You can loosen that and I can twist how I want it. So just get that leveled off so it's ready to put your wheel on there. The seat is fully assembled now, and the final thing to do is to take this strap it came with and place it from that end to the bottom end just over there. So let me get that in now. And now just showing, we just tighten up the strap now. And that's how it looks, fully assembled with the strap below as well. Now the frame's fully assembled, you can see for yourself, looks pretty cool. And in terms of setting up, I'd say it's pretty easy to set up. Now in comparison to the FGT Lite, it's very similar in design, but I actually found the FGT Lite a bit more tricky to set up. I think some of the bits and pieces were a bit more tricky to push in and adjust, but this one actually felt easy to set up. Now in comparison to the FGT Lite, you've got a few differences. There's some cogs missing over here, and obviously some cogs over there. I didn't like the fact the cogs are missing on this side. I thought it would have been good if they left those in on this particular one. Now with this version, obviously you've just got the GT position. You've not got the Formula 1 position on here where it lowers the seat down even more. Not an issue if you don't play the Formula 1 games and you didn't want that sort of positioning, so it's fine. General build of it is very similar. I think the only thing it's lacking, obviously because it doesn't have the cogs in those areas, I find it's a bit more movement on this area, I'd say. And I don't like the way, I guess, the clip over here moves with this. Obviously you've got to make sure the strap's in as tight as possible. But generally, for the price point, I think it's pretty cool. And like I said, pretty easy to set up. Let's now move on to getting our wheel, pedals and shifter installed onto this. So I've got the G920 here with the shifter. Now in terms of installing the pedals, you've got 2 plates here that can be adjusted, as you can see, and there's locking mechanisms at the side. Now in terms of installing the pedals, you can lift this area up And you've got screw hole points on there, so there's 3 possibilities, but I've just put in 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, tighten that up, and that's sufficient to hold it in position. And again, you can adjust it into the location you want and then lock it into position. So next, in terms of installing the shifter, it sits into position here. Now, one of the things to note, if I bring the camera around, there's a slight nudge on the plate at the bottom here. So with this shifter, we're gonna have to remove the bottom area to allow us to firmly secure it onto here. So looking underneath the shifter, there's 4 screws, 2 at the side there and 2 over here in the middle. Now you can see the ones on the side areas, they go in very deep. So make sure you've got a screwdriver long enough. I've actually had to take my screwdriver and chop off the area around here just to allow me to place it all the way in there. So let me loosen all these up. And now just to show, I can just lift it away. And there you go, the area is nice and clear underneath, so you can easily attach it onto here now. Now the shifter's bolted on, and just to show the underneath of it, there's the screw points just either side and a nice amount of clearance so it fits in well. So you have to really remove the bottom area just to give a nice tidy fit on here. Now in terms of mounting the wheel, this plate here can be adjusted. The bolts on either side can come out and the plate can be moved down or back up again. And in terms of adjusting it, there's an adjuster at the bottom, and that allows you enough flexibility to what works best with you. The wheel itself can be bolted on, so you've got 2 bolting points there and they marry up with the points there, or you can just use the clamps. We'll just use the clamps as that should be sufficient for our purpose. And there you go, in position now. Okay, the items are all in place now. Next thing we probably want to do is just tidy up the cables. So I've got some Velcro straps to just do some cable management so the cables don't get in my way. Use these Velcro straps to tidy up all the cabling around here. I'll include some links in the description of the video if you're after anything like that. You can see for yourself, nice and tidy now. Nothing getting in my way. Okay, so it's all assembled now. Everything's in position. Cables are all in. So we can now sit in there and test this out. Okay, so in terms of getting in the frame, you've got a clip over here, which I showed before, and it's just a matter of taking that out, pulling that apart, and then you can get into the frame. Once you're in, put that into position and lock it. Okay, so I'm in the frame now, and in terms of height, I'm around 6 foot tall. And the positioning for me is not bad, comfort-wise, comfortable. And I've highlighted before, the cogs down below, they can be adjusted if you wanted to, but obviously do it when you're outside of the frame. Don't do it when you're inside the frame. And again, even the adjustment over here, you can adjust on the pedals. So pedals-wise, 6 foot, and it works fine. Now, in terms of rigidity of the frame, I can show you there is some wobble. Obviously, that's me doing it quite firmly on this. And even sideways, you're going to have it only because the frame comes like that. There's no middle post there to sort of keep it firmly in position. The other thing is obviously the shifter as well. It is tightly in position. There's a little bit of movement on there. Okay, next one is the pedals. So got it in this position, and if I'm pushing down, so that's not bad, not getting that much movement from there, which is good. So generally it is good for what you're getting because it's not a permanent structure. You can fold it away again, so not surprising what you're seeing here. But if you wanted a more of a firmer structure, you'd have to go for a sim, which is built out and not something you can pack away. So for a foldable sim, it is a good solution, and size-wise and comfort-wise, feels pretty comfortable while you're sitting in here. So no issues there. Now in terms of the pedals, you've got 2 positions. So this is the inclined position, and you can lay it flat on the surface as well. And to do this, there's 2 pins either side. So one here and just one on the other side. So if I reposition the camera slightly. So now if I hold on to the pins either side, this piece comes out. You can flip it around and then just slot it into position until it locks. Once it locks, it can just sit into position then. And then you can just slide it up and down as you want. And once you've got it in your position you want, just lock it in. Okay, so now with the pedals flat on a surface, just to show the performance on there. See for yourself, movement is very minimal on there. So good to have that adjustment as well. To note, once you get into the seat, make sure you've got this as tight as possible. So it's always worth taking it out and then tightening it one more time and then putting the Velcro in place. It just makes the seat feel a little bit more firmer. Okay, so I'm in the frame now, and in terms of comfort, feels nice and comfortable. I've got Forza Horizon 4 running on here. Now, this is running on the Xbox Series X, and you can see for yourself how it will perform. So first of all, wheel itself, obviously it does shake like this, but when you're going side to side, it's not bad. Still quite rigid. And in terms of pedals, so not bad for a foldable frame, very similar to the FGT Lite from Next Level Racing. So obviously with this one, you don't get the Formula 1 positioning. So if you're not going to be going for that, it's actually a good option if you just wanted to have a standard racing frame on this. Now this varies from some of the other frames. Obviously you can get some which are just stands which sit in front of you, and you can put the stand in front of your TV and you can sit on a normal chair. But this does enhance the whole experience, makes it a bit more realistic, I'd say. Obviously everything's attached to the frame itself, and you've got a seat on there as well. If you're limited for space, I think this is probably the ideal solution to go for, because you can obviously fold it away. I'll show it being folded away in a moment. But there you go, a little bit of movement from the shifter. You can see there, I have attached it on. It's fairly tight on there, but you're getting a little bit from there. So yeah, it feels good. And just to show the side again. So yeah, movement sideways is fine, I think, personally. Can't expect anything more from a frame of this sort of design. Next, let me show how to fold up the seat so it can be stored away. So very easy to do. So first of all, coming to the locking hubs at the side here, just loosen them, just make sure you've got enough movement so the shifter moves, so you know that's sufficient. Then coming over to the other side, do the same there as well, just unlock it, just to make sure there's ample movement there. Unlock the latch for the seat, so that's out. Do the same for the other side. There you go, that's loose. Loosen the Velcro strap. There you go, that's nice and loose now. So now it's just a matter of holding on, pulling the seat, and it just folds downwards like this. You can see the wheel can rest up here, and we'll pull that down, and that's it. So you can see for yourself, it just takes up a minimal amount of space now. And to bring it back into action, just do the reverse. So let me show that. Lift the seat up. Bring the frame back up. So if I just hold on with my foot to this area. There you go, just tighten the bits up now. Lock the hubs either side. So there you go, just make sure it's nice and tight here. So when you lock it in, there's no gaps left. And then lock the seat in at the back. So the clips here. If locking over here, flip that around, that's in. And then the Velcro strap, tighten that into position. There we have it. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this foldable sim cockpit from Next Level Racing. This is the GT Lite. Very simple to set up, and you've seen for yourself, nice experience when you're racing, and it's great that you can fold it away after you've used it. There's a couple of things to be aware. There is a little bit of flex at certain points, and I've shown that in the video. The perfect sim cockpit for a situation where you're limited for space, but keep in mind, if you wanted one that could do a Formula 1 position, don't go for this one, go for the FGT Lite version. I'll include links in the description below, plus a link to the video review I previously did of it. So there you go, details are all in the description below, including purchasing links. Hang around for the end cards for some more gaming tech. Drop me a like if you've liked this video, and let me know what you thought of this sim cockpit. I thought it's pretty cool if you're limited for space. So there you go, thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.